Today we're making roast chicken. So this little guy I have here is a free-range organic Mary's chicken, poultry, which is all that I buy. It's a 2.5 pounder, perfect for 2 people. Well, just a little above. So keep that in mind with this recipe if you're gonna make for 4 people or you have a bigger chicken, just maybe substitute and add a little bit more of the spices and lemon. So I've started by doing some garlic. And so right here today, I have half a garlic here that I've cut in half. This I find is the easiest way. With the other half, just so you can see, 1/4 of it, I've gone ahead and chopped up. We're just gonna throw that to the side. We can use that another time. So starting, we're gonna go ahead and season the chicken, and we're gonna make that seasoning for it. What I have here is a skin-on chicken. I've made sure if you freeze it, any of that, it's completely thawed, and I've removed any frozen pieces inside. And also today I'm really excited to share all these ingredients. You're probably not aware, just in a simple roast chicken, how many wellness, health benefits, ingredients that we're gonna be using are gonna be good for you, immunity boosting and fabulous. So I've gone ahead, taken my little finger and gone up under the skin, and that's where our kind of more wet ingredients are gonna go and the spices, and we're gonna start with that. So I have here some rosemary that's been washed. Always wash any vegetables you have, of course. I have a great tip on and recipe on how to wash your herbs, protein, vegetables, and everything like that, which is so good. So I just kind of put this aside for the moment. We are going to start with a little bit of our Dijon mustard here. We're gonna do about a teaspoon. I won't be doing everything because I eyeball a lot of my ingredients. I'm familiar with the amount, but for everybody else, get out your little teaspoon. And then one of my greatest things for this, I use this in everything, also because it's just a staple in my condiment. But it's so aromatic, it gives so much flavor, and it's great. So this pickle brine here, we add about a tablespoon to 2 here. Put that right in, like pickle brine. You don't even taste it, it just makes that nice, moist flavor, and it's aromatics. It's already got that garlic, dill, and everything in it, so it's wonderful. Then we take our garlic. We're gonna go ahead and dump all of this in. That's a 1/4 of a garlic bulb that we've just roughly chopped. Sometimes also in other recipes you see I use a micrograter for very fine. You can do this as well. For this one, that's nice too, just so you don't get big clumps of it, you know, and it's a little cleaner if you're doing to impress. For me and just at home, just nice rough chop. Now, and back to garlic, the benefits of garlic here, it's a huge immune booster. This is why so many people take it in cold flu season. Now we add COVID to that. And it regulates blood pressure and sugar. I didn't know that, so that's fantastic. Add in a good amount, 4 shakes, about half a teaspoon of, I like to use pink Himalayan salt or your table salt. And then black pepper. For this, I like a lot, so I'm gonna go with about 10, which would be 1 to 2 tablespoons of black pepper. If you are measuring it out, probably 1, 2 could be a little bite, but I love pepper. Put that in, good amount, because remember, this is gonna go under the skin, all of this, and coat the outside of your bird as well. Then we have one of the biggest immune powerhouses is thyme. In the words of Ina Garten, if you don't have fresh, store-bought will be just fine. So my thyme right now is just dwindling in the season. It's not abundant like say my rosemary still is. So just using some dry thyme here, adding about a teaspoon. And thyme boosts mood, and it's immunity, builder. But bacteria and yeast fighter was kind of surprising to me as well. So amazing. Then we have red pepper flakes. I don't have, other than this is just flavorful, and any kind of that, you know, cayenne family, it's gonna keep up that metabolism, which we all need. So we do about a half teaspoon of this red pepper flakes, not to make it spicy, just to give it a little pop. Then we have coriander. So coriander is also the blooms, I believe, of cilantro. Who would have known? But it's got this orange, very just mellow, kind of lovely spice that is wonderful in so many dishes, but also so healthy. So coriander, brain health, fights infections, it promotes digestion and gut health, and it's great for diabetes patients. So go ahead, put a little teaspoon of that coriander right inside there. Then I'm like, what are we forgetting here? Of course, our lemon. I have almost one whole. I had taken a little piece off for my water earlier. Lemon here is, let's just pretend this is one whole. Half of the lemon is gonna go inside the cavity, just whole. This other half here, I've already removed the seeds. That's very important. Go ahead and just give that a little squeeze here. And not all the seeds, just the visible ones. So if you are serving this, you may want to strain this with a cheesecloth or use a little juicer just to keep those seeds out, or just the old, you know, hand method. Go ahead and squeeze that. I love the flavor of lemon. And what I'm excited for is after I enjoy this delicious roast chicken, it's kind of just this amazing entree dish. I take all the bones and I do a bone broth with it, and then make my chicken tortilla soup, which is fabulous. So a lot of these flavors and everything are really gonna be flavoring the stock as well, which will be made eventually in this, you know, same pot here. So once we've got almost all our lemon, we set this aside because that one will go inside as well with the cavity. That nice lemon flavor. Oh, rosemary. So I have here quite a bit. This big guy I have is gonna just go straight in the cavity like that. I have here now a little strip of it, and just to kind of break it up in my hands, just to release all those aromatics and good things. Just give a little sprinkle in there, and then I have this one as well. Put that in there. So fabulous. Okay, I'm gonna take a nice little handful of this parsley, which is gonna go in the cavity. So going back to parsley, amazing. I didn't know this 80s, 90s garnish, you know, for the plate, had such amazing properties in it. So parsley is an anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, it's antioxidant, amazing for your skin. Another immunity booster. It's high in vitamins A for your eyes, C, we all know what that does, and K, which is great for your bones. Awesome. So this will go right in the cavity. And then with rosemary, it's also an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, and it boosts focus. I know I can always use that in being present. Okay, so I take this, just kind of whisk these little things around, get those flavors together, and they're good. I give it a little smell, just to kind of, I can taste by smell. So typically that's where I go. What does it need? Not too much. I think we're right on cue here. Then I take the nice heavy-handed 2 tablespoons of softened butter just to make it amazing. The other 2 are gonna go on. I'll give you the directions, just keep that in mind for later. So we're just, if you can see here, all this amazingness. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of get it worked in there. If you want to, I like it soft rather than runny, you know, in the microwave or anything, because I like it to still have and hold some of this shape to it when you go under the skin. So we just kind of haphazard, get that all together. What a great, great, great flavor we're gonna have to go inside and outside. Okay, now that we have our added dry chicken here, we can go forward with this. But I am going to actually move this now into, after we season it, into our main pot. The reason why I use this pot here is because it's my roasting pan. It's a straw, but I love it. It has these little droplets, which then keep all that moisture in. So I cook this, which I'll go back over again, at about 375 for about 30 to 35 minutes. I remove the lid, add a little bit of that butter on top. You can baste it, you can just kind of put it on there. However, what that's gonna do is that that's gonna give you that award-winning, amazing, metal, beautiful brown top, which I love. So we take that, and that's what and I'll go over that again with you. So, starting with our next step, we take 2 onions that I have cut finely. And big thing, before you start anything, I did this today and it made me crazy. Hone your knife, keep it sharp. Every knife set that you have or get, or just order one, this is the easiest way, even less or more than this. I believe it's 45-degree angle, and you just are gonna go and sharpen this. You should almost always be doing this right before you use it. And also another great thing, farmers markets or sometimes local, places will offer come and pick them up, or you drop them off knife sharpening. It's so worth it. There's nothing more dangerous than a dull knife in so many ways. So 2 onions here. I've taken 1 red and 1 white, and white being sweet. You can do anything. You can do 2 red, you can do 2 white, but this is what I like. And I like that because the red is a little sweeter. It caramelizes a little bit more, and it just gives a little bit more flavor. So that's what I use. I've done these at a cut with my sharp knife at 1/2 inch. And now we're gonna go ahead and season that. So we're gonna take about a tablespoon of olive oil. Whatever you use will be fine for your olive oil, but a good olive oil, dark bottle so the light won't come in. That has a lot of antioxidant properties as well. And then onions, antibacterial, so great. High in quercetin, which if you're an allergy sufferer, and bump those onions up around time of your allergies, that's great for that. I didn't know that. And then it helps the body make vitamin E. Okay, so essential. So go ahead, we've added our olive oil. We'll do a couple shakes of salt, and then just a couple shakes of pepper. And if you would like, or don't necessarily want all of these, I love black pepper, so the coarse and texture is great for me. You can also, if you want a cleaner look to it, use a little white pepper too. I do find that can be a little more pungent, but it's a cleaner look to the dish. So take that, and then typically I would do this with my hands. I'm going to use a little spoon here just to give these kind of a shake up. And all this is doing again is flavoring these onions, which are going to ensure moisture. One little escape artist. Ensure moisture in the pot, flavor everything, and just get some great things going. It's also a part of this wonderful side dish, so when you plate it, you can put this on a platter, with the onions, maybe a couple fresh lemon slices, and whatever the main kind of components are in something, I like to garnish as well, like a little parsley, obviously a little of this rosemary, the onion. I mean, if you have extra on hand, a half-open garlic is gorgeous, or roasted. So there we have our onions. We'll just set those aside to kind of let that marinate all those flavors together. What I do now in preparation for this is I add about a tablespoon of olive oil so nothing sticks on the bottom. And what you won't see here, and at the end, we'll go over again, I'm gonna add some chicken stock. So here we have our little baby bird. So you're gonna get back to this amazing kind of slurry and spice that we've made here. We take this, and I always start under the skin. And the reason I leave the skin on this is because I want all that flavor to go from my stock into the pan later. And then if you want to remove, you can, but I love a good beautiful golden brown skin. So take this, we go under and inside from where the skin kind of separates that breast. We get a good tablespoon of it in there and we just kind of, you know, move it around. And I do, it will kind of jump out towards the opening. So I try to get it back there as, you know, a little more far than I can. And most of this that we're trying to do is taking those globs of that butter with the spice and everything else. And again, you just kind of push it back there, another tablespoon of it, just to kind of get it in there and get it way back in there, because that breast goes pretty far forward. Oh, I'm so excited about this. So, I mean, you just can't go wrong with a good roast chicken. I feel that it's, I mean, to impress just a weeknight, there's nothing more comforting, healthy now. I mean, that you've been flooded with this information of delicious, but also healthy alternatives here. So we give that just a nice little kind of rub around here. Now we're gonna do our cavity. So we take the empty one first, put that all the way towards the back. Then we have our parsley, rosemary here, gets stuffed right there. It's just almost sticking out of the cavity, if you will. And then this one that's full, I go right back over the top just with a little more, and then put that right in so you can see that little lemon and everything's just kind of coming out. So we've got that. This is so good. Now we are gonna come back. I'm gonna wash my hands and do a nice little bit sprinkled on top of this dry rub. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly sprinkle a few things just to make sure we still have a good amount of flavor on top. So we do a little bit of our salt, a little bit of our pepper. And then we do a little bit, where is it, thyme. And that's good. Everything else is gonna have enough flavor there. Let's take this, we set it. Oh, our garlic, I almost forgot. This goes right into the cavity as well, but I wanna get it in there so that those flavors and everything are gonna, you know, bust through. So now, we set this aside again, and we come back to this nice pan that we put the olive oil in. It's all ready, just to prevent anything from, you know, sticking. I take half of the amount of onions, which, you know, we've coated, and I kind of put those right on the bottom, just to almost fill the bottom of the pan here. That'll look, okay. We are going to, and I want that more kind of in the center on here than the outsides. We are going to truss, excuse me, our chicken. And we do not need to do anything perfect by any means, but we start with our butcher's twine, and I take, you know, I look at it and I go, oh, okay, about that much. This is a small chicken. This isn't as advanced as, say, Thanksgiving with your turkey, which I always think you should trust. Okay, but what and why we do this is just to kind of keep everything nice and close and that moisture fantastically going on. So take my little babies here, and we're just gonna underneath the two. Okay. We take these and we are going to tie them up in a nice little fancy bow. And that's just gonna keep all that flavor with the insides of our lemon, the parsley, the rosemary, you know, all kind of together. And I just give it another tie around, how I went almost like a infinity circle, because this is love. You can double knot it and everything too, because you're just gonna cut it off with some scissors when it comes out. Okay, now, I mean, beautiful, beautiful. take this pan back here and we are going to do a little bit of a transfer here. Oh, there we go, gorgeous. I take all this extra kind of jus that we have here, a weight on that. Take these onions, put them on the sides, just so that will ensure all of this amazing moisture. These are gonna cook down, they're fantastic. It's just snug as a bug in here. So we will add to this about a 1/4 cup of chicken stock and all this extra juice as well. I don't want the dry ones to come off, so I just add it to the sides and the onions. It's just kind of extra flavor. And then pretend that I have, which I'll do later, my little 1/4 cup of chicken stock in there just to keep all that moisture too and flavor. 30-35 minutes at 375, you know, give it a look. I'm repeating what I said earlier, take your lid off. You are going to add in 2 tablespoons of butter to baste the top just to get that golden brown, and bump up your temperature to 400 for 15 minutes. And you should have the most divine, wonderful roast chicken. Keep in mind though, this is for a 2.5 pounder. Also, bay leaf here, break in half, put 1 on each side. It gives amazing flavor, almost like that kind of caramelized French onion. That's one of the key ingredients in there. So fantastic. Enjoy.